What is up, everybody? Welcome into MLB DFS Live for Tuesday, July 28th. I'm your host, Ben Hosser, joined by Justin Bales. Bales is live sweating the White Sox and Indians game at the moment, so if you see him looking off to his side, he's probably watching that. Travis normally has been running these streams, and I am running this one with the sketchiest internet in the world. So if you guys can hear me, let me know in chat. That would be helpful so that I know that we're not talking into the abyss. Um, but yeah, so before we get into everything, I'll shout out our sponsors, SuperDraft. If you guys haven't checked it out already, you can head over to superdraft.io and use the promo code KARMA for a deposit bonus upon your first deposit. So it's a little bit different way to play fantasy. I've been talking about this the last couple of days on stream, but it's pretty fun. They just have no salary cap, so you can play whoever you want. And then it adds multipliers for the cheaper the guy is. So, if you want to you don't have to play like a min price guy to get someone in that you want to play. You can just play whoever you want. But the cheaper you go, the higher the multiplier. So, it pays to take some low guys. Like I had Steven Souza, I believe last night he was like a 2x multiplier, so that was good. But it's pretty fun. So be sure to check that out. Promo code KARMA. We're going to get into this slate. So you thought yesterday's pitching slate was bad, man. This is like something else, dude. This is bad. Tomorrow should be good. I'm super hyped, Bills. Tomorrow's Nate Pearson day. So Nate Pearson's going to make a start for the Blue Jays, but I don't think he's going to be on the slate because I think their game's at like 6:05. So that kind of sucks.
Sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but he gets the Nationals.
It should be a really good slate though. Like this is the fifth in your rotation day, which is why it's so bad. So I mean, tomorrow is just going to be loaded with arms. I think it should be anyway.
Yeah. Pitching will be back tomorrow. Everyone says they can hear me. That's good. So we're good. So we're gonna get into it. Pitcher stacks position by position to finish it out. If you guys have any questions, be sure to drop them in chat. We will answer them. At pitcher, man. So I was talking about this in Discord today. I was texting you about it. Like, it seems like everyone's going to play Patrick Sandoval against the Mariners. Obviously, one of the top matchups on the slate because the Mariners' offense isn't good. Projected to strike out around a quarter of a time, which is really bad. So it's a great matchup, but I don't think Patrick Sandoval's good. He's one of the guys that had coronavirus and was late to camp. So he's, there's concerns about him being fully stretched out. There's concerns about how many pitches he's going to throw. So I don't really see why this guy should be chalk. So I'm just going to full fade him. I don't think he's a good play. And if he somehow crushes and strikes out 10 in limited innings, I'll take my L and move on. But I'm not playing this guy. I don't think he's good chalk. So I'm not going to be playing him. The guy I'm going to be pivoting to is Josh Lindblom. Don't really know a ton about this guy because he's coming back from the KBO. So he hasn't been in the MLB the last couple years. But Steamer has him around 8 strikeouts per 9, which isn't horrible. Definitely will play on this slate given the options that we're using. And despite the Pirates not really striking out a lot, they're just not a super good offense in their own right. So I don't really think a lot of guys on this slate are going to rack up strikeouts. So I'm not as concerned about the Pirates' discipline as I normally am. So I think Lindblom's probably my favorite. And then you're going to probably hate this, but Jeff Samardzija, I think, is going to be my number 2 against the Padres. I cannot believe that I'm saying that, but the Padres still are going to strike out a lot against righties. And that's the best pitching environment on the slate in San Fran. So I think that's probably the 2 guys I'm taking. I'm not touching Walker Buehler because we have absolutely no idea how long he's going to pitch. He could literally pitch 3 innings. I would not be shocked about that. So, Bales, you can go ahead and give your analysis, but I think for the most part, I'm just looking at Lindblom. I'm looking at Jeff Samardzija. I think that any of those guys in that like 9K range, like Merrill Kelly, Kyle Gibson, any of those guys I think are fine. I'm just probably not going to play them in cash. But for tournaments, like spread out your exposure to a bunch of guys tonight because everyone's on equal playing field because there's just not a standout pitcher, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're on it. I would personally be taking a stand against Kelly. There's no way that I'm paying 10K for a guy that has an xFIP over 5 on the road. Like I just can't do it. I'd much rather play Kyle Gibson, like, without question for me. outside of that, I mean, there's not many places to go. I think the one guy that I'm basically going to hold steady on in tournaments, and I'm not going to have a ton of exposure because it's so risky, is Carlos Martinez. Um, Obviously, he used to be a starter. He went in the pen last year. His numbers have always been that of a very, very, very good pitcher. It just so happens he gets Minnesota. Like if Carlos Martinez was playing anyone besides the Twins, he would be the chalk tonight. I'd be willing to bet. So I mean, the matchup sucks, but realistically, dominant pitching can stop dominant hitting. We know that pitchers are able to slow down entire offenses. So I don't really hate it, especially since there's like virtually no strikeouts out here. So if Martinez just starts feeling it, he's a guy that can rattle off a bunch of strikeouts in a row.
Yeah, I definitely understand the logic behind that play. I'm a big fan of Martinez. I think he's going to have a really solid season. I did a dynasty league draft with a bunch of people in our Discord channel back in like January, February, and I drafted Martinez, hoping that he would be a starter, which he obviously is now. So that's good. But I don't think I think we differ very much on that because if you look, I don't know if you checked my article out, but I just published it right before we got on here, so you probably didn't get a chance to. But I had the Twins as my number one stack in my stack ranking, so we
Oh,
literally could not be farther apart on that. But I definitely understand the logic behind it. Like if I was playing tournaments, I would throw some Martinez in for sure, just because all of these guys have similar ceilings, and one of them at least is going to have a decent game. So I understand it. Sriracha's in here. What's up? Sriracha, you got to get on a pod, man. I don't know what's going on, but I have not got you on a podcast yet. So that's probably coming next up. But if you guys have any questions on any other pitchers, go ahead and ask. Pretty straightforward for me. I think you want to spread it out in tournaments, and I like Lindblom and Samardzija, I think, are my two favorites. But for GPPs, I'd be looking to just play a couple lineups and spread out my exposure. As far as stacks goes, like I just told you, Bales, I had the Twins number one. I just don't think they're gonna be high owned. Like we saw this exact
yeah.
situation the other night when they were up against Giolito. Um, there's enough name brand on Martinez that I just don't think they're gonna be high owned. And they're one of the best offenses in the league. They crush righties, a lot of power. So I definitely like them. I think the Mets are the next spot for me, and the Mets are probably the best spot for cash games in my opinion. Just given their prices and their matchups, so I like them. I know you'll like that since you're a Mets fan. And then, really, I mean, I think the Red Sox are fine, but I don't know. I'm still on this thing of where I just don't want to full stack the Red Sox because I just don't think they're that good. So I think the Red Sox could be a little bit overowned. I like the Mets more than the Red Sox. A sneaky one I like is Oakland. I don't see Oakland getting a ton of ownership, but their implied run total moved up to 5. They have a lot of power. I think the top 5 in their lineup all have ISOs above 200. So I think the A's could be a sneaky one, and they're that late game, so you could have the late night hammer coming in.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. I get Minnesota. Like no one's gonna play them against Martinez, but at the same time, I don't think anyone's gonna play Martinez. So I think either side of that is I have no issues whatsoever taking.
Yeah.
Two stacks that I'm really looking at are the Angels. They should really just dominate left-handed pitching, and we know that Sheffield's not good right now. He'll probably be solid in the future, but right now he's not ready for the MLB. And you got guys like Trout, if Rendon's playing, you have Upton, like just guys that we know could dominate left-handed pitching. And outside of that, the Texas Rangers, I feel like this is another spot where they've had not the most difficult first 3 games, but I don't really worry about that. Like yesterday, we saw Kansas City and Detroit. They both finally got a really good pitching matchup, and they both went off. I think Texas today could finally be in that just because everyone's so down on their offense. But realistically, Kelly is not good. He's really bad on the road, and Texas does have a lot of pop in their lineup. So I think the Rangers are an offense that's going to go way under-owned and should go off tonight, really.
Yeah, I have a lot of interest in Gallo, which we'll get to, but I definitely understand the Texas side. I also don't mind Seattle just because, like, if we're projecting Sandoval to be so high owned and neither of us really like him, Not that I like the Mariners offense, but you're just gonna get like massive leverage because everyone's playing the pitcher against them. So I don't mind that. Michael Page from Facebook asks thoughts on a Dodger stack. Yeah, you can stack the Dodgers every night. No one really is talking about them. I don't think they'll be super high owned. I think a lot of the cash game exposure will be on like Mets and Red Sox, and then maybe some Brewers, like the Brewers righties. I think will get in there as well. So yeah, they're going to be low owned. Valdez can get ground balls, but the Dodgers have enough pop that they can get the ball up in the air. And anytime it's similar theory to the Twins. Like anytime you can get one of the best offenses in the league low owned, like for sure, jump at the chance in tournaments.
I'd agree with that. Feels like
Um,
same with Houston, especially since we don't know how long Walker Bueller's going.
yeah, I agree with that. Literally no one's playing the Astros. Like that will probably be one of the lowest owned team stacks on the slate. Someone asked, going back to pitching, rank the three guys. So I'm assuming you mean like the Kelly Gibson, and Homer Bailey. I would probably rank them. That's tough. I would probably say Bailey, Gibson, and Kelly in that order. I don't know if you disagree with that.
I would go Gibson, Bailey, Kelly.
Yeah, I think Kelly's the clear third, and then you're just deciding between Bailey and Gibson. Um, I don't know. That's tough. I could see either of them having a game. But if you guys have questions on any other stacks, go ahead. We'll hit to position by position. Bills, I'll start at catcher. I think DraftKings, it's very clear that last night you were playing Salvador Perez. He hit a home run, and his price, did it go up 100 or down 100? I think it went down
It went
100.
down 100. It was 29 last night.
Yeah, so he hit a home run, and it goes down $100. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to play Salvador Perez again in cash games. I also like Wilson Ramos. Always can use him against a lefty, and we've talked about this before. People don't like to use catchers when they stack because they generally aren't very good hitters. So throwing Ramos in a med stack is a good way to get some leverage on the field. So I like that. And then if you need another one, it would probably be Garver, just because he's the only other guy that I feel confident has power upside. But you don't really like the Twins, so I'm sure you won't be playing Garver.
Yeah, I won't use Garver. I like Garver more against lefties mainly. I think if you want something weird, you could go Austin Nola against. He's catcher eligible on DraftKings. I doubt he. I guess it's catcher first on FanDuel anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, you get the leverage there, and he hits left-handed pitching pretty well, so I have no issues. Especially he's 2,800, and so is Perez. So I can't think of a single person that's just gonna choose to play Austin Nola over Salvador Perez on the slate.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. The Dodgers lineup just came out, so that's good. Actually got the Dodgers lineup fairly early for whoever was asking about the Dodgers earlier. But first base, I'm going to go with Pete Alonso again as the top option. Obviously, he's expensive, but I wrote him up last night. Wrote him up again in my article today. Highest ISO on the team against lefties. Matches up pretty well. So basically, Hall throws only fastballs and curveballs to righties, and Alonso has really good success against both of those pitches. He doesn't have an overpowering fastball. I think his average fastball velocity was around 91 miles per hour last season, so it's not a super good fastball anyways. But it's never a good sign when someone that gets booted from Detroit's bullpen, like he's starting for your team. Like that's probably the worst possible sign you could have for a pitcher. So
it's not going to end well.
yeah, that's really sketchy. So Alonso's probably my favorite. I really like Matt Olson in tournaments. I think you can one off him or use him in the A stack I talked about. And then the third one for me, he's not against a lefty, but I don't mind CJ Cron if you're just hoping for a home run. He's still pretty cheap, but not someone I would want to play in cash.
Yeah, you nailed it. I'll add a few more. Ryan O'Hearn is 2,200, and obviously he's hitting.
Yeah,
fifth for
that's
Kansas
ridiculous,
City.
dude. That's ridiculous.
It's just easy to play him. Albert Pujols against a lefty, he's only 3,700, and we already talked about Sheffield being pretty bad. And then Danny Santana is first base eligible along with outfield. He's hitting second, and obviously I like the Rangers, so I have no issues going there.
Yeah, man, Sheffield. I really want to watch that game tonight and watch him throw because, I mean, this was one of the top prospects in baseball at one point. Did not look good. Just look overmatched when he came up last year. So I'm curious to see what he looks like this season. If he made any progress. Um, Walker. Okay, so this just came out. Walker Buehler expected to be limited to 75 pitches or 5 innings on Tuesday. So, I mean, 75 pitches. That's probably a little bit higher than I thought he would be at. But against the Astros, which are a really good, really patient, really good lineup, I don't really think 75 pitches just automatically gives you 5 innings.
If you look at at Bueller's game logs, like last year, it's nuts. Less than 7 innings, 117, 6 innings, 100, 5 innings, 104, 693, 7 innings, 91, 5 innings, 89, 6 innings, 98. Like it's not a lock that he's going even 5. And if 5 is the max, are you really paying 11.3 for a maximum of 5 innings against Houston?
Yeah, the conversation would be if he was in that same pricing tier with Kelly and all those guys, then you would be somewhat interested. But it's just too hard to pay $11,000 on DraftKings for him. So we'll move to second base. Where are you going at second base? Because I think that the majority of the ownership is going to go to Keston Hiura or Whit Merrifield. I think that's the two guys people are going to choose between for cash games. I'm going to lean towards Whit because we kind of dissected that Keston just wasn't good against lefties last year. So I don't see why he should get, overwhelming ownership when his numbers against lefties weren't good. So obviously Holland was really bad against righties. So one of those two has to win, right? Like they're both really bad. But I just don't see why he should be super high owned over Whit Merrifield when Merrifield's cheaper.
Yeah, I'd take Merrifield if you're narrowing it down to them. I think Pereza leading off for Boston's going to get some ownership too. Probably not that much because you're not really spending, like, people aren't going to spend up for Buehler in cash. So like you do have like a lot of money to play with. So I just feel like Merrifield is probably the guy, but Herrera always seems to get that little bit of ownership. Outside of that, you can always play Max Muncy at second. You're getting an elite hitter at second base. It seems easy. I like Colton Wong. I've been a huge Colton Wong fan, and I just feel like he's still way too cheap at only 3,600. And then outside of that, I think Fletcher makes sense. You can play him at either second or third. But if you're going to stack the Angels, you're just going to play him at second with Rendon at third.
Yeah, I like Chavez more than Peraza if I'm choosing someone there. And then I also would just throw a Max Muncy. I think you can one off him if you want to. I play Max Muncy like most slates though, so might be a little bit biased. Third base, for me, it's Rendon here. I don't think he's going to get a ton of ownership. I think people are going to go down to J.D. Davis in cash games. So I really like Rendon. Hopefully he's in the lineup because that would suck if he wasn't. But this is supposed to be his first game back. He actually had better numbers than Trout against lefties last year. And I think people obviously will forget about him because he hasn't played yet this season. So I like Rendon a lot. J.D. Davis is perfectly fine, and I think you can use him in cash games if you want against a lefty. So he's the one that had like the home run last night, right? Where like they couldn't find it apparently or whatever.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been really tilting if I played him in cash because I
Could you
thought about it
imagine?
for a while.
It just so happens that they can't see the cardboard cutout that it hit. Like, just take 2 seconds. It's not like, how fast did Twitter know that was a home run?
Yeah,
Like,
that
he
was
could have
bad.
taken a minute and figured it out.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Third base is loaded though. I like Josh Donaldson a lot, fitting with my Twins. I think Justin Turner against a lefty, you can use him most nights, and then Matt Chapman I think can play as well. So there's like 5 or 6 really strong third base plays today. So I wouldn't go really overweight on one. I think in tournaments, I think you could spread it out a little bit or just use it to fill in your stacks.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'll just add one more person, and it's strictly tournaments. But Kyle Seager hit left-handed pitching extremely well. And Sandoval is actually a reverse splits pitcher where I think lefties hit over 300 against him last year. Like basically every metric left-handed batters hit better against him. So if you wanted to take a guy that also is reverse splits, but for a hitter, Kyle Seager makes a whole lot of sense, especially since he's going to be hitting fourth.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Logan says I'm hitting a home run tonight, so I mean,
You are, or Logan is himself?
I am. So I should probably just end the podcast because we have nothing else to say if I'm gonna hit a home run. I mean,
Are they going to add you on DraftKings, or
yeah, I'd probably be about 3K, I would say.
I'll play you. I don't care.
I would play myself at 3K for sure. If that's what my actual price was.
Get you in the
Um,
optimal.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Shortstop, it's probably for Cash, Rosario, or Xander Bogaerts. I prefer Bogaerts if choosing between them, but both are strong plays. And then Mondesi, I know Sriracha was really tilting Mondesi in Discord last night, but we have to go back to him, I think, given his price and the matchup.
Yeah, I'll go back to him. I don't. It's annoying when one night like you hit everything right and one guy screws you, but if you let that stick with you, I mean, you're gonna start losing DFS. So don't do that. Like, just go back to the guys that make the good plays, and that's Mondesi tonight.
Okay, so he said my twin apparently is David Fletcher, so he's saying David Fletcher is going to hit a home run. I didn't know that I look like David Fletcher, but apparently I do.
I'm gonna look this up because I didn't think you looked like David Fletcher.
I don't know what David Fletcher looks like off the top of my head. So.
I'm gonna be honest. You don't even look remotely like David
Logan,
Fletcher.
what are you talking about, man? Bale says it's not even close.
Look him up.
I'll look him
I
up.
don't.
I'll look him
I
up
don't
for the
even
stream.
slightly see that.
Colin hopped on late, but great calls yesterday. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in, Colin. I really appreciate it. Someone in chat said bad take on Fletcher. Jeff, I'm going 450 to dead center. That is facts, Jeff. Thank you for tuning in. Logan is tilting that you don't think I look like David Fletcher, so I'm really have to look this up after the stream. But all right,
Okay, I found a picture where I can see a resemblance, but
okay.
when
So
you
maybe it was the picture. Does this DraftKings picture look like me? Maybe that's it.
I don't know, but this is like the 30th picture that I've looked at, so I mean, it's overall, no, you guys don't really look that much alike.
Oh man. All right. We'll finish up at outfield here. Mike Trout, this is obvious. I don't think I need to come on here and tell you to play Mike Trout, but we're gonna have money to spend with the egregious pitching today, so no problems getting up to him. JD Martinez against the lefty as well, I think is a pretty strong play. I like Mookie Betts, but I'm gonna have him third behind Trout and JD, I think. And then there's a couple guys in the lower mid tier I like a lot. Yoenis Cespedes I think is going to get some ownership in cash games, obviously against the lefty. I think you can use him. And then Joey Gallo's 4,100 on DraftKings against Merrill Kelly, who has limited strikeout stuff. He's going to pound the strike zone. I really like Joey Gallo. So if you guys aren't in our Discord channel, one of our analytics guys, Luke, he actually put some numbers together and it spits out probabilities for home runs on each slate, and his projections have Joey Gallo with the highest probability to hit a home run tonight, just over 30%. So I really like Joey Gallo. I would like to play him in cash, honestly, because I think he's going to be kind of low owned. So I like him. And then there's just a slew of cheap guys, man. Solaire's under 4K. Ryan Braun's pretty cheap, batting cleanup against the lefty. And then Lorenzo Cain's leading off again, and he's under 4K as well. So lots of cheap guys, but I think you can spend up here for the most part.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, Kevin Pillar is 3,300 against a lefty. Like,
yeah.
Hitting fifth. I'm so sick of these weak pricing. Justin Upton's 3,600. Shin-Soo Choo is 3,900 against Kelly. I mean, we can do this like basically all day where there's just guys underpriced, but that's more or less who I'm looking at too. I think we basically hit everyone. There's not really anyone else that I'm going to be scrambling to get into my lineups, I don't think.
Yeah, I give the Red Sox crap for being a bad offense, but Kevin Pillar actually was good against lefties last year. So he shouldn't be 3,300. He should be a little bit more than that. So I don't mind that. Logan says check Discord. I will check Discord. Before we head out of here, Bales, give me your home run call and a bold call for tonight.
I hit the home run yesterday with Soler. You got one.
You did, yeah. That was a great call.
And you should have picked the Royals. They hit 6 homers, I think, right?
Yeah, I got robbed because my predictions were void because the game got canceled.
I hate to be that guy, but
it doesn't count today. That does not count.
Yeah. Okay. Home run call. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. He stole my. Nah. Let's go. I'm gonna go Justin Upton for a home run call,
Okay.
and just because I didn't want to take Joey Gallo, is so obvious. And I'm gonna say Texas breaks out with 8 or more runs tonight.
All right. I like it. I like it. I'll piggyback off your Texas one. I'll pick Gallo for my home run call. And then for a bold call, I will say Jeff Samardzija is in whatever the biggest tournament on DK is tonight. Jeff Samardzija will be in the winning lineup. So we're
That's good.
we're gonna ride some. It's Shark Week, baby. It's Shark Week.
All right.
Yeah. So before we head out here, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all the conversation going while we're in here. Be sure to check out all of our products, dfskarma.com. We have free content. We have affordable packages if you want to sign up for premium. I mean, our boy Chris, longtime subscriber Chris. Chris, I don't know if you're watching or if you're going to watch it later, but shout out to you. Him and his girl, man, they're the dream team when it comes to MLB DFS. Like, they dominate. And they had a big hit last night, 7 grand. It doesn't cost much to join up if you guys want to hop in our Discord. We have daily packages. Daily packages don't come with Discord, but you can at least try out our premium stuff. And then you can get like a week if you just want to try us out. You don't have to sign up for a long period of time, but it's definitely a worthy investment. So again, thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow is a better slate, so I'm excited for tomorrow. We'll definitely be back with the stream for that slate, and we'll see you guys then.